Welcome to the KPC Smart Money Podcast. Well, today we're going to talk about how far could $1 million go in retirement. You know, that used to be the ultimate target for retirement portfolios. Retiring as a millionaire brought status and confidence that you could live comfortably during your golden years. Now, if you retired with $1 million in 1970, you probably wouldn't have had to worry about your nest egg running out, even with a relatively lavish lifestyle. It would be like retiring today with $7.8 million. So retiring with $1 million in the 80s, and it would be like retiring with over $3.7 million in 2023. But just how far will $1 million go today?
So, think about this for a minute, okay, before we go any further, all right, because we see this all the time in our advisory practice. We have people that come in that don't have a ton of money, but their expenses are real low.
Yeah.
And their Social Security is pretty high.
Yeah.
Right. And they have a rental property.
Yes. Right.
And so their cash flow, they're cash flowing more per month than what their expenses are. So how much money do they need? Do they need $1 million?
In addition to what they have? No, they don't. They don't need $1 million.
Okay,
correct.
Now, by the same token, we had a couple come in that were spending $19,000 a month.
Oh, yeah, and they had like $6 million. And
how much do they? And we're going, you're going to run out.
Yes, they were going to run out by like 80.
Okay, so we have a tool we call the Retirement Blueprint that we feed all this information into. So I want to kind of preface what we're about saying here so people don't freak out. If you get to retirement and you're debt free, right? And your house is paid off and you own your cars and you got decent Social Security, maybe you don't need $1 million. It would be nice, right? $1 million's still a good number.
Right.
So anyway, a cool 1 million would go twice as far as it does in these days in 1990. What about that? So clearly 1 million doesn't go as far as it used to. So just how far will it go these days? The answer depends on how you and where you live, which is what we just talked about. So in retirement, as in real estate, location is everything, or at least it's a lot. The map below shows how long 1 million could. Now you can't see the map, but obviously, if you live in Arkansas, your money's going to go a lot further than if you live in
New York City.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Or California. My goodness.
Right.
We go to California to visit, in Southern California. Everything is 50% more.
Oh, yeah.
Everything. Eggs and bacon is 50% more. You go out for dinner, any of that, gas for sure.
So, where you live and what the cost of living is makes a difference. But hey, what about the fun stuff? Retirement isn't just about covering your basics and just squeaking by. You retired because you want to enjoy your time and do fun things. Maybe even things you have put off while you were working and raising a family. Well, whatever fun looks like for you, the estimates of do you need $1 million generally don't cover the fun stuff. And you got to have fun stuff built into your retirement plan.
Yeah. So our calculations assume stable annual growth for retirement portfolios. Of course, that's not realistic or reliable. For an example, they showed a guy retiring in 1973 with $750,000. Then they showed another guy retiring in 1974 with $750,000. And one guy ran out of money when he was 83, and the other one past 100, because all of their money was in the stock market.
Drawing down during a down market is a problem.
Yeah, so of course that's not realistic or reliable. Investment performance can vary drastically from year to year. A personal retirement income plan should account for these types of ups and downs. It should also build in some flexibility for responding to performance changes while keeping you on track to hit your goals. So what will it cost? What will cost you the most in retirement?
Well, here's a couple thoughts. One is healthcare. It is a significant expense for most retirees. In fact, a healthy couple who retire at age 65 in 2022 may need over $300,000 just to cover their health care costs for the rest of their lives. You know, perhaps ironically, those of us fortunate enough to retire in good health could end up paying more in health care costs than retirees with health problems. Why? Because when we live longer, we'll be paying for health care costs longer.
That's right. So I think, too, we might want to throw in there, it's really important to those people that are listening to us that are about to be on Medicare, that they have the right plans.
Yeah.
Right? Because a catastrophic health experience could be, if you have the wrong Medicare supplements, could just be a nightmare. So the other thing is long-term care. So about 70% of retirees who are 65 or older will need some kind of long-term care at some point in their lives. These costs vary by location and length of stay. So I can tell you right now, my father, who's 93, has a little efficiency. It's probably, I'll bet it's not more, counting a big giant bathroom, 400 square feet.
Mm-hmm.
Okay? And he's fine. He's got a recliner. He's got a little tiny desk for his computer, and he gets 3 square meals a day.
And he gets to socialize. He's loving it.
He found a poker game.
Of course he did.
But anyway, it's $4,200 a month.
Yeah.
Yeah, and that's no extra stuff.
That's not medications. That's not, he needs serious hands-on care. It's certainly not the
mental.
Yeah.
Yeah, the what do they call that? Mental care? No, they call it something else. But if you get sent
memory
up to
care.
Memory care, thank you. If you get sent up to the 3rd floor, the prices go up.
A lot.
Yeah. So
Right.
Anyway. All right, so depending on where you live and whether you have long-term care coverage, that could run anywhere from $54,000 to more than $168,000 in out-of-pocket costs every year. And those costs are only getting more expensive. By 2033, expect those costs to be at least 34% higher.
It's only 10 years from now. So here's another surprise: taxes. Many people think that the taxes they owe will be lower when they stop working. But tax laws are ever changing, and they can have a significant impact on how much you owe in taxes while you're retired. Now, think about this. You could be retired for 20 to 25 years. How much do you think the tax code is going to change in those 20 to 25 years?
Well, I don't see it going down.
Not with the current government spending, I don't. But fortunately, proactive planning may help mitigate the impact of taxes as part of your expenses.
Okay, so what about lifestyle? What do you want to do in retirement? Everybody thinks that, that their expenses are going to go down. What kind of extras do you want to enjoy and share with your loved ones?
Mm-hmm.
People nowadays, if they retire, even when they're 70, they're still in pretty good shape, most of them.
Right.
And so they want to go do things.
The go years.
Yeah, that's right. And then, then you turn 75, you slow down a little bit. But, people are crossing things off of their bucket list. What does your dream lifestyle in retirement look like? The price tag associated with those dreams is a big variable in your personal retirement calculations.
Right. So kind of to summarize, the saying used to be, all you need is $1 million to retire. Well, that does not take into account a lot of variables. And as Kevin mentioned before, we see people at retirement who are not walking into our offices with $1 million, but they're debt free and they've got great Social Securities or pensions, and they might have some rental income. But the biggest thing that determines expense in retirement is expenses.
So if you're listening to us now, let's just say, and you're 50 years old, so by the time you're 75, everything's going to be double. Everything.
Mm.
So that's long-term care. That's, everything. Eggs, bread, gas, going to be double. So you got to take that into consideration. So let's look at, people say if you take $1 million, you can take 3 or 4% off to live off of, and it'll last. Well, let's say 4% of it, that $1 million is $40,000 a year plus your Social Security. If that covers everything, you're probably going to be okay. So that's kind of a rule of thumb, and there's other ways to get a retirement income plan we don't have time to go into. But anyway, just you can visit us at kpcfinancialsolutions.com. You're listening to Kevin and Karen on the KPC Smart Money Podcast. And Eric, this one's for you because you said we've skipped a couple of weeks here during the holidays. So thanks for tuning in, and we'll be back next week.
You've been listening to the KPC Smart Money Podcast with Kevin and Karen Christ. To listen to more episodes, visit kpcsmartmoney.com. You can also find the KPC Smart Money Podcast on Apple Podcasts, Google Play, Spotify, and Stitcher.
KPC Financial Solutions is an independent financial services firm that utilizes a variety of investment and insurance products. Investment advisory services offered only by duly registered individuals through KPC Financial Solutions, LLC, a registered investment company. Investing involves risk, including the potential loss of principal. Any reference to protection, safety, or lifetime income generally refer to fixed insurance products, never securities or investments. Insurance guarantees are backed by the financial strength and claims-paying ability of the issuing carrier. This podcast is intended for informational purposes only. It is not intended to be used as the sole basis for financial decisions, nor should it be construed as advice designed to meet the particular needs of an individual's situation. KPC Financial Solutions is not permitted to offer, and no statement made during the show shall constitute tax or legal advice. Our firm is not affiliated with or endorsed by the U.S. government or any governmental agency. The information and opinions contained herein provided by third parties have been obtained from sources believed to be reliable, but accuracy and completeness cannot be guaranteed by KPC Financial Solutions. Hypothetical examples have been provided for illustrative purposes only. It does not represent a real-life scenario and should not be construed as advice designed to meet the particular needs of an individual's situation.